Oh no, the Canadians
The homeless chums in the midst of a machine combine to make the ultimate team. Chris Betts and John Hastings providing delicious chat that you shall be tasting. We'll be cringing to watch Mojo and how Chris promotes the show, trying to avoid phone death and occasionally having fantastic guests. You're watching Chris and John have a chat.
Oh no, the Canadians are coming.
The homeless chums in the midst of a machine combine to make the ultimate team. Chris Betts and John Hastings providing delicious chat that you shall be tasting. We'll be cringing to watch Mojo and how Chris promotes the show, trying to avoid phone death and occasionally having fantastic guests. You're watching Chris and John have a chat.
No, the Canadians are coming.
The homeless chums in the midst of a machine combine to make the ultimate team. Chris Betts and John Hastings providing delicious chat that you shall be tasting. We'll be cringing to watch Mojo and how Chris promotes the show, trying to avoid phone death and occasionally having fantastic guests. You're watching Chris and John have a chat.
Oh no, the Canadians are coming.
The homeless chums in the midst of a machine combine to make the ultimate team. Chris Betts and John Hastings providing delicious chat that you shall be tasting. We'll be cringing to watch Mojo and how Chris promotes the show, trying to avoid phone death and occasionally having fantastic guests. You're watching Chris and John have a chat.
Oh no, the Canadians are coming.
The homeless chums in the midst of a machine combine to make the ultimate team. Chris Betts and John Hastings providing delicious chat that you shall be tasting. We'll be cringing to watch Mojo and how Chris promotes the show, trying to avoid phone death and occasionally having fantastic guests. You're watching Chris and John have a chat.
Oh no, the Canadians are coming.
The homeless chums in the midst of a machine combine to make the ultimate team. Chris Betts and John Hastings providing delicious chat.
Oh, JF, what's going on?
Oh, hello. How are you,
Hello.
buddy?
How are you?
I'm great. So nice to see you guys.
JF.
And you?
Hi, everybody. How's everyone's lovely Sunday going?
It's going good. Here's a question. I don't have headphones on. Is that a problem right now?
No feedback yet?
Okay, great.
I can kind of hear me through you, but it doesn't bother me that much.
Okay,
so,
great.
Yeah.
As long as I'm not screwing things up right away.
What does everyone think about my new background? It's a photo of when Mike Tyson bit Evander Holyfield and he's squaring off with the cops.
Yeah, I saw that earlier. Great picture.
I love it. There he is right there. I think there's so many favorite guys. I think I relate the most to this guy right here. Right here, this guy. Like this, it cuts off my hand. But the security guard who's clearly in his head being like, I'm quitting my job today. I am not paid enough to fight Mike Tyson here.
The one on the end or the one with the mustache who's clearly just leaving?
Okay, no. Okay, so there's the guy in the burgundy jacket with the mustache.
Yeah.
And then there's the bald black guy next to him.
Yeah.
The bald black guy next to him. That's the guy who's like, I'm quitting. This is ridiculous. I have that one, and I also have gotten this one. Hey.
What? I don't... Misinformation and it's a cliff and people were walking off?
Yeah, I just make a lot of bold misinformation claims, so I felt like it would probably be good to have a misinformation background.
Oh, nice. I thought we were getting like needlessly political on the stream.
No, this is just
no,
this is just to make fun of all the crazy things I say. How's everyone doing?
Nice.
JF, I was way baked last night when I answered your phone call.
I know you were very concerned about me. It was very.
I was so worried. I was like, "Who calls it?" I was like, "Who calls at this time?" And you were like, "I'm just fine driving." All right. Well, then I have to get off the phone because I am not in a place where I can talk on the phone.
Yeah, it's who calls at 11 o'clock at night? Other comics on the road who are calling other comics.
But it's been a year. This is exactly
Keep
why.
me awake.
Yeah.
This brings me to my first topic because you called it because yesterday I had a full on meltdown because instead of going to the improv open mic and just signing up in a bucket and probably not getting on just because it's gotten too popular as these things do, I went and had drinks with friends and then laid a giant guilt trip on myself for just living my life. It's just the annoying thing about the world coming back. Do you know what I'm saying?
For being a person?
Yeah. You're both comedians. You've both done it. Don't sit there going, you don't know what I'm talking about.
I ended a relationship because it was getting in the way of me going out and doing comedy.
Oh yeah, I wasn't going to support you,
And
John. You're a lazy piece of shit. And you need to get your shit together.
That's exactly what I need to hear. But you know what I am saying of you live your life. It doesn't. I'm the only one who's like this, which is no matter what you do, you're still like, you should be doing more. You lazy piece of shit. You're like
100%.
But you're just like that's not helpful. And also like
I've been doing admin work since 10 a.m. which people don't realize in comedy. There is a lot of admin work. It's a lot of booking flights, making flyers, paying for ads, making sure ads are going through, connecting with different venues, hotel, and it's where I am now. I think it's like 5, and I'm just like, I don't know if I did enough today.
It's a nightmare.
It never stops.
Yeah, I'm on. I did a stream at 3:30. Streamed for about 2 hours. Came off. Immediately did admin. Had a meeting with Alex Watson, my mod. Then did more admin. Was like, I'll cook dinner. Oh, the stream starts in 15 minutes. Cool.
Yeah,
good.
Quick dinner is now a power bar.
Yeah.
I literally I boiled some meat and I've been literally sat at this fucking computer like writing all day, but still beating myself up that I didn't do much yesterday. And you're just like, when you're just like, all right, well, I'm exhausted and I'm alone. So there's only one person to blame. And it's just I don't this is the background I want. You know what I mean? And it's also, like I was texting with Chris. I sent out all of that stuff we're doing a Scottish election stream. I talked with Alex. Like, it's like you're doing shit. It's just also LA is reactivating, and LA is the worst city for this because everyone just lies about how well they're doing. JF knows this.
Yeah, it's very funny. I mean, from the outside on Instagram, it looks like LA is the funnest comedy city in the world when I know it's not true.
I mean, all of the shows are really fun, but it's a very funny situation because like there's already new kings of kingdoms. Like there's already people because there's like 8 shows in the entire city. And so immediately people like are the new overlords. Like it's completely a sea change. And I'm like, I'm kind of cool with it, but it's so funny at the same time where it's like, all right. Like I'm going to be vague, but JF will know what I'm talking about.
Private chat.
Chris, I'll put it in the private chat, but it's just so for everyone. And they'll be able to kind of figure this out. One of the venues in LA has gone through, let's say, a big shift recently. And so a lot of people have viewed this as a way to get in to this place and be able to perform there. And I literally have been like trying to figure out, okay, how is everyone doing it? All right, I'm going to go the other way and figure out like the actual sort of, not the LA kind of like, what's the best strategy here forward? And it's so exhausting.
Okay, so it's either the Comedy Store, the Improv, or the Laugh Factory, and we know it's not the Laugh Factory.
I mean, I'm not...
No one's like, I'm dying to get in there, which I am kind of bummed because their booker is changing, and I did just finally get in there. And the booker's like the coolest dude, too. The old one. But, it's not going to be... I will tell you this, at the Comedy Store, nobody knew it was getting passed for a while, at least 6 months. And if it's improv, I mean, the Comedy Store usually only passes maybe somewhere between like 4 and 8 people a year. And that's kind of 8's kind of a lot. It's usually like 4 to 6. They usually every 6 months pass about 3 people.
Wow.
Just go in the private chat, JF. You'll get all the answers you're looking for.
I got to exit full screen for that, and I'd rather see more of your guys' beautiful faces.
So you said that it changed about 6 months ago at the store, was it?
No, the store. Yeah. So
You can talk about this openly. There's nothing weird about wanting to get passed at a comedy club as a professional comedian.
I never know with fucking this is the other LA gossip thing.
And also, like the two people who book the one person who books the Comedy Store now, which I don't know if that's public knowledge, is one of the nicest, coolest people in the world. And the woman who's booking the Improv is one of the nicest, coolest people in the world.
I don't know who's booking the Improv anymore. What I was talking about was the Comedy Store, which was specifically.
Wait, you're represented by the company that books the Improv, and nobody sent you the email?
Nope.
I'll send it to you right now.
Yeah.
Oof. 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 I mean, as a comedian whose agent runs a comedy festival in the Alps, and I've never been invited to do it, I absolutely understand that pain.
Hey, speaking of which, can you send my info to that agent?
Yeah.
I want to do a show in the Alps.
It's what's even funnier about it. So it's the Comedy Store, and I was just talking with some people that were that are past there, and apparently the new booker has been like everyone figured it out over like the course of a day and just blew her up basically.
Yeah,
and it's been so. And I was like, because I had a thing where I'm like, I'm not going to reach out for a minute here. I'm going to sort of be like, give it a second.
Yeah, I like chat with her normally, and she's just like a cool person. It's too much. She's gonna, everyone's gonna. There's like, with getting into that place specifically, there's already like 20 million people in line.
Yeah.
Not to say that you are not in a good position. You were getting up there a lot during the pandemic, doing the window and stuff like that. So you are kind of in pocket. You should at least get in development. You're a professional comic. You should be a non-paid regular at the minimum, like I am. But then there's also there's like Josh Adam Myers, who's been a non-paid regular there for like 8 years, 9 years. Who should be passed,
This is the whole thing, and it was I just had a big old giant moment of insecurity in general, just because that's what there's so much insecurity, and also like who is actually in charge of what going around. And
also, I will tell you this: it doesn't actually matter. Just getting up every night matters,
of course, and that's the actual thing. And the problem is, it's just LA right now, much like whatever social media leads you to believe. There's only like 8 shows.
Yeah, you got to start a show out there, buddy. You got to start a show on your roof in Koreatown.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not starting a show. I've done it before, and everyone, it doesn't, because here's the thing. It's also then you're concentrating on running a show. I don't want to do that.
Find a young comic to help you run the show.
No.
Yeah, find a lackey. Find a cool little cabin boy.
Yeah, you find a comic who's like 3 or 4 years in, who's going to be really good and needs the stage time and wants to hustle.
No, I don't want to do any. I don't want to do any of that. That's the other thing.
Or you do the thing that most comics in LA do. They find a producer who's a person who's an assistant at an agency, who in like 5 or 6 years will end up taking over and becoming an agent, and who will run the club because they want to meet all the young comedians.
Oh, smart.
I still don't want to do any of that because I totally
lazy John again. Lazy John.
No, but it's also, I hear everything you're saying, and it's also like I've tried running a show before. It's just I hate it every day. Every day you hate, because it's also all that extra admin of being a comedian. Plus, because it's one of those things where, and it's my favorite when people give advice where they go, "You just do these things," and it's like, doing just those 3 things isn't that easy, and you both know it.
Yeah, but once it's up and running, they usually kind of run themselves. If it's a good show, if you book good, all you need to do is ask 3 of your famous friends to do the first 3 shows, and the shows sell out, and then everyone's just like, "Oh, this is the cool thing to do in Highland Park on a Tuesday night, so we're going to keep doing that."
100% not true. That's what I ran a show in North Hollywood for a year, and that's what we did for the first 6 months. And the problem with it is just like a bunch of crazy stuff you don't think of just happens randomly. Yeah, so even if you have really good lineups and stuff like that, it's like, oh, the venue had soundproof curtains. That was a violation of a fire code. They don't tell you. Like, there's just so much added stuff. You're like, wait, what?
Yeah, you just got to make sure you get the right venue. I mean, I had a show in Highland Park that was super popular. It was getting like 120 people to a show, and the venue just stopped it because they didn't like having stand-up.
I know, this is the whole thing. It's just a nightmare at a certain point. We're just like,
it was like, are you getting all these people in here normally eating dinner and drinks on a Tuesday night?
That's the funny thing, where you just got to kind of just be like, well, whatever.
John, I'm worried that you're not getting enough water.
Me too, bro.
John, can you turn your mic up just a little bit, please? You're a little quiet.
Absolutely not. Chris, how is London? How are you feeling about your stand-up comedy prospects in London town?
Oh, I mean, I'm going back to Canada as soon as I get vaccinated, so I'm not really looking at it. I'm sort of just not engaged at all. I'm just writing and focusing on this, and then as soon as I get back to Canada, then I'll book some shows. But right now, we got people storming Trafalgar Square, and there's hundreds of thousands of people walking through the street.
All right, so what is all this stuff that's happening geopolitically in England? Because I couldn't. Is it the cops or what's going on? Why'd they storm Trafalgar Square? What the hell's going on?
There's Trafalgar Square, and there's Old Trafford Stadium today, and they're just angry. They're just really mad.
About what?
Old Trafford was all the Manchester United fans are angry at the owners and about the attempt at the Super League, and so they stormed the pitch and fought with cops and tried to postpone the game, and they succeeded. Hey, it's Matthew Broderick. He once killed a person. With
this is him at Old Trafford.
Yeah. There he is. So they're angry. Then it's a bunch of like the stuff you're seeing all over the world with like anti-mask, anti-lockdown, all that kind of stuff. Vaccination rates are getting better, but I just don't trust them to do anything right. And so I've taken on the most British thing that I think I've taken on in the last 8 years of living here, 11 total, is I no longer hope. Not here.
This is insane. This
It's
is
not for us.
fucking insane. You're literally just like, hope is dead. We move forward. Is that basically where you're at?
Yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Is just wait until I get my vaccine. Then I'm going to go to Canada for a while. Then I can let hope build back up again. And then I will do things. But for now, I'm focused on doing Twitch because this exists and I can keep doing it. But the idea that stand-up will be back and safe or real in any way, I just don't trust it.
Yeah. Do you think so you think it'll be a long time before the UK has stand-up again?
No, stand-up starts again in May.
Yep. In theory, that's what they're saying. But they're also saying that the Edinburgh Fringe is going to go ahead. Anyone believe that?
I mean, but the Edinburgh Fringe going ahead. This is the other thing that's interesting.
Go
ahead, Jeff.
I was going to say, aren't people at the Edinburgh Fringe used to performing for no one?
Yeah, but you can't get into those venues. Don't exist currently. They're just diseased, walled up rooms. Like it's also none of the venues exist. So it's the first time ever the Edinburgh Fringe is going to happen, and just no one's going to be at the venue. It'll just be us hanging out, killing ourselves. I mean, the Edinburgh Fringe is not happening. People think it is, but it is not happening.
I'm going 2022 on that one.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, and that year's going to be a fucking doozy. And a friend of the stream, Paul Bjorn, was pointing out that at that point, COVID jokes will be too old to be topical, and so we will have all been saved.
Fingers crossed.
I disagree.
Oh, it's so good. No one's going to talk about lockdown. No one's going to be like, oh, remember the start? No, I don't. It was 2 years ago. Go fuck yourself. I'm so glad. I was really upset at the idea of literally hundreds of shows.
Of my new stand-up special.
What?
He said you're not going to like the first 20 minutes of my new stand-up.
You 100% should not do one. You should do one COVID joke in the room and cut the rest out.
Yeah.
The first 20 minutes is all like the living with my parents breakup stuff.
But you live with your parents, but that's not specifically jokes about COVID.
It's just like the circumstance of my life due to COVID.
But couldn't you just say that you're poor instead of COVID and just leave it at that?
No, because I wasn't poor before COVID.
They don't know that.
I don't. I mean, I think it'll age just fine. I honestly don't care.
I disagree so hard. I think it's gonna not do like it's just one of those things where. Oh, here's why. I know why the problem is that they're all badly resized, Alex. I figured out the problem. Sorry. We're having it.
Yeah, I think people are going to get sick of hearing about it real soon. At least I hope so, because I'm already sick of comics, of the jokes that I've written for other comics in my head. I'm sick of already.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you as a person who's actually on the road doing stand-up, they aren't.
I'm very jealous of that, but not the COVID part, but the road. What's the road like? Tell me about stand-up comedy. It feels like an old friend.
80% of the audiences are awesome. 20% are dumb.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's better than it used to be.
Yeah. Depends on where you are, actually, I should say.
Okay. Dumb. What kind of dumb are we talking?
Like anti-masker dumb.
So dangerous dumb, not just dumb, but like
dumb. Like if you talk about it, they're like, we don't want to hear about that. But it just depends on where you are. But all my jokes eventually go back to dick and balls, so everyone gets back on board.
There you go. Everybody loves it.
It's an interesting thing also because the road is
the South.
Sort of is the South right now. The road is also all the places that aren't open. That's the other thing. Like it's one of those things where it's like I keep looking at it, and it's also that weird thing of it's like, yeah, it's just like places where you're like, wait, where? And it's like, yeah, that's right. We're going to fucking
Biloxi, Mississippi,
baby. Well, why? And it's like, you'll see. Fucking see.
I mean, I'm doing Midwest next week, and I'm St. Louis, Cleveland, Chicago, Milwaukee, Euclid, Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Oh, pretty
nice.
Pretty blue cities.
And what's the setup in the club? Are they packed? Are they quarter full? Don't go in the Cove, John.
I'm in the Cove. Don't worry. I'm heading over back to the Mike Tyson lounge.
Most of them are like minimum, like half capacity and stuff like that in your blue states. Now you're showing us your stand-up. What are you trying to remind the audience you used to do stand-up?
Oh, JF. Let me just play this for you.
Can't hear it.
No, I like the no audio, just scratching the chest video though.
Oh, no, that video, it was me just saying you're jizzing on tits, and then immediately asked by an interviewer, do you worry about originality in your stand-up? And I say constantly, and it's embarrassing.
It's the cruelest edit job I've ever seen, where they literally show him doing a bit, and the line is, it's like her tits were like a billboard for my jizz. And then it's a hard cut.
No.
Do you ever worry about originality?
No,
oh,
it's
Jesus
just
Christ,
jizz.
guys.
I don't mean I never specify if it's my jizz. It's just jizz.
Oh, sorry, that's very different. What is how does half capacity places affect the atmosphere in the room?
People are just so excited and happy to be out that it doesn't. Like for the most part, all the shows are pretty amazing. So, you'll be in places like Florida that have been open since March of last year. So, and those people aren't like excited to be out because they've just been out.
Yeah. Like, I mean, did Florida ever really close in the end of it? Like
for 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks.
What?
Yeah. Florida was only closed for 6 to 8 weeks.
That's insane. It's also like, yeah, I can only imagine. It's also, are they running around being like, we were right the whole time?
A little bit, because their like numbers never got too crazy.
That's not true. Their numbers got so crazy.
Miami at one point was like really bad.
No, Florida was, when California was on fire, Florida was as bad. And they were just like, we're riding it out, baby. This isn't real. It was Rick Scott. Like, don't you remember? It was like this time last year when it's like you'd go like Florida and Texas were both like on fire with COVID.
Oh, I remember when Texas was really bad.
And they were just like, it's fine though. And everyone was like, it's not. And now it's just, I don't know. Are they suppressing? I feel like it's just going to come to the point.
Oh, it's going to come out one day that Florida totally suppressed the numbers. Also, Florida is one of the good states with the vaccine. With so many old people, they really sent that shit down here. So it was like one of the first to like really start knocking down the curve because of the old vax, which your boy fully vaxed.
As am I, baby.
I don't have a Band-Aid there or anything, and it was over a week ago. I just figured that would be the
over a week. Wow, you're so late to the party. I was fully vaxxed April 5th, bitch.
Ooh. Still zero vax.
Oh, sorry for your country.
1/10 of the population. Oh, damn.
It's so crazy that California and America in general rallied in the way that it did. Like, it's something that I will never forget for as long as I live.
Which is also crazy that California probably has a bigger population than England, and it is probably more than 50% vaxxed.
It is not even, California has so much smaller of a population. I think it's half at the very least. England is crazy populated.
Really?
It's about 30 million, isn't it? 50?
No, way more.
What is it? I'm going to look it up right now.
60? I think it's 6. The UK, I think, might be 60 or more.
I think London's 13, if I remember correctly, from when I lived there a long time ago.
That is true.
The
68 million in the UK. I'll check England, but yeah, 68. Okay, so I was
California.
lowballing it.
Oh my God, the English population is 56 million.
And what's California?
30 million.
I mean, it's not terribly far off.
Yeah, but you guys have a war economy. That's the thing, is you can mobilize your industries and just be like, we're doing this. UK doesn't really have that.
JF, I'm going to say it right now. 30 million and 56 million.
Big difference.
Very big difference.
Yeah.
You know what? It was a great try. Just, you know what? Those aren't that far apart. When you're negotiating, let's see. You know what? Let's go. I'd like 30. You want 60. Let's call it 30. They're not that far apart. They were, in fact, quite far apart. Yeah, California is the same population as Canada, and LA's Canadian population makes LA the 4th largest city in Canada.
Also, California, 5th largest economy in the world.
I know it's the best because it's the trade route to everywhere. It's the trade route to India that the colonials were trying to establish, and now it's just a place where you can see so many fat pigeons.
You talking? Is that just slang for Americans?
No. Slang for Americans is Shermans or septics.
Yeah, Zeppos.
It's just an interesting thing of we're all roughly around the same age, all roughly do the same job, having 3 totally different experiences with COVID. That's how weird the world is as it opens back up again.
Yeah. I mean, I've been able to do stand-up consistently since November. Or really January, since January.
Yeah, it was since January. Because I was with you in November and we were doing the Comedy Store.
The window.
We were doing the Comedy Store window. Yeah.
And then that shit shut down. But that's when I left and came out to Florida and New York. But during December, I didn't really do much stand-up. And then January, when I got back to Florida, and that became my home base.
I think I'm gonna go to New York in August is what I'm thinking.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I was just there and I was doing 6 spots a night.
It's nice.
Breaking heart.
Yeah, but it's also how much is that indoor, how much is that outdoors? I assume all outdoor, all indoor.
I would say 75% outdoor, 25% indoor.
Yeah, and it's only
the clubs are open in New York City at limited capacity. So I was doing sold out club shows to instead of 120 people in there, it would be 40 people.
Is everyone bad at it now?
No. I mean, some people are a little rusty, but New York, they never stopped doing outdoor stand-up shows. They did them through the winter. They just got they just put heaters on roofs, outside portable heaters, and people would buy 2 tickets for $60, and that would include your own personal heater.
It was so funny because they've tried.
New York can't stop, won't stop.
3 times to do that, because the thing with New York is the NYPD and the health department will look the other way because they're like, fuck it, you're entertaining, it's New York. Los Angeles, they are not doing that. They have tried, I think one New York comedy club has tried 3 times to open up clubs or shows here, and every time they were like, shut it the fuck down.
Yeah.
They tried Chris, they tried this angle of oh, it's a protest, and they tried protest, oh, it's a protest, and the LAPD showed up and was like, why the fuck is then fucking Craig Robertson from The Office here? He's not protesting. He's here to do comedy. This is a comedy show. Shut it down. And they were like, no, but it's a protest. And they're like, it's not a protest. We're the cops. We know what a protest is. Shut it down. It was so fun.
A lot of them lately.
What?
We've been seeing a lot.
They tried and it was such a, because everyone's like, why? Because a couple of New York guys came to LA, and I had this conversation or overheard this conversation where they were like, man, LA comics, they're not trying shows. And finally I did interject and I was like, yeah, man, The LAPD here gives a fuck more about COVID regulations than they do in New York. That's the problem.
Yeah, and then that's why there's like secret backyard shows in LA and stuff like that, which I think is cool. I think that's good for comedy. It makes people want to like. It makes comedy cool again to be like, oh, you know, that my friend has a show in their backyard.
Yeah.
Comics from television.
That must have been crazy to be like, I can get, you know, Craig Robinson, let's say, and he's gonna walk through my house masked, and then he's gonna tell jokes in my backyard, which is the thing that as a movie star he probably wouldn't be doing otherwise. I mean, that's a fun leveler.
Bill Burr's been doing shows at this church parking lot that I know recently.
Yeah, but Bill Burr's got that vibe where I feel like Bill Burr will just show up. If he's in town, he'll do a thing.
He just seems like he's also, it's interesting because it's also Bill Burr is now the only, he's not, but it's so funny the amount of people that have gone. The other thing is the amount of people that have gone to Austin is fascinating. It's fascinating.
I'm really interested to see when I get there in a couple of weeks how many people are actually there.
It's just people that you don't know that were weirdos have all gone to Austin.
Oh, yeah. That sounds great.
And then a couple of the Comedy Store door guys, which
is cool. All the weird guys. No. If we're going to be honest, it's the weirdo. All the weirdos, because only a weirdo would be like, "Hey, this man who's almost a billionaire you don't know has moved cities. He says he's going to open a venue. All right, I'll move."
Yeah, and it's not like that venue is not going to be as hard to get into as the Comedy Store was in LA.
I disagree, but also how many? He actually isn't going to have that many comics because I got just all the famous people that have moved to Austin, which is just 3 of them. Because the main other thing that took out LA comedy was the Me Tooing of Chris D'Elia and Brian Callen. That frees up like 90 hours of stand-up comedy in Los Angeles.
Brian Callen's still doing stand-up on the road.
Oh, yeah, but not in Los Angeles, baby. I ain't competing with Brian Callen for spots in L.A., baby. I was never going to play Raleigh, South Carolina. Please
Good Nights, great club.
I want to, but unfortunately, Brian Callen and there's.
I'll be there on January 4th.
Oh,
I'm sorry, June 4th. And I think that date's wrong too. But if you go to my website,
are you going to be in Toledo, Ohio, at any point?
I'm not. Toledo, Ohio is a real shithole.
Damn, we got our own bowling team.
Yeah, we're starting up. I'm waiting for the details. Someone on here has a bowling team. We asked if we could sponsor. Turned out it's $27 for the naming rights. So we have scooped that up.
Ooh. So the person who's in Toledo, Ohio, come see me in Cleveland, Ohio.
Nice.
D-Carb, I watched this on the VOD. I have a feeling, you want him in there. He strikes me as a guy who's going to heckle, but constructively. And so that.
Well, we don't need that. So
I think I'm working on your special only. So Jay, if you're filming a special in St. Pete, Florida,
June 12th, baby. Tickets. 2 shows. Going to have about 120 people a show. They're halfway sold out already.
Great.
Yeah, about 6.
Socially distanced in any way?
A bit, yeah. We're gonna like separate some people, make some aisles, do some things.
You've been in Florida too long already. Listen to this.
But also, everyone should be vaccinated by then in Florida. Like vaccination has been fully open since like April here.
But here's because we're now at the point that's very interesting in the States where they're reporting it. It's like how many people have actually been vaccinated versus like who are gonna. You know what I mean? Like
we're over 48%, I think, now vaccinated in the country with at least 1 shot.
I thought it was even higher. I thought it was 60. I thought it wasn't it. Aren't they like because what they're concerned about is that it's going to get super close to herd immunity ability, but not close enough.
You also got to remember then all of those people are just going to get COVID and then eventually have antibodies.
But only for a couple months.
And also, but what the other thing is that the disease mutates. So we just have to wait for it to not we just don't want it to keep mutating and mutating and mutating.
I know it would be the smart thing for America to do would be what Europe and Australia and New Zealand did, which is just keep your borders closed. And if somebody comes in, they have to quarantine in a hotel for 2 weeks.
But the thing with that is that is also they've had so much. You'd have to be so draconian with that system, and America doesn't have the law. Has too much freedom of movement laws. That's the issue in the end with the United States is that they can just you can get sued and lose with that.
Yeah.
It's in the reason why drinking and driving is sort of weirdly acceptable in the United States, or it's very rampant. Oh no, pardon me. Why there's so few drunk driving checkpoints in the United States is what I meant to say, is because there are technically constitutionally you can't have them technically under the Constitution.
That's fine.
If they technically violate the rights to search and seizure, which is so weird.
Interesting. The numbers are down, cases in the country, to 44,000. Yes, today.
Wait, there's new cases are only up to
new cases are only at 44,000 across the country.
So it's saying that that's a positive number,
which is down 27% in the past 2 weeks.
That's
and
great.
the death rate is down to 700 people a day, which is down 7%.
Wow.
And according to the New York Times, we are 44% vaccinated, 31% fully vaccinated. But their numbers are always a little bit behind the actual numbers. And their numbers also don't include Georgia, Colorado, Virginia, West Virginia.
Why?
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
Fair enough. Absolutely fair enough.
I like that Colorado is just like, we don't trust we don't want anyone coming in from New York City taking our polling and data.
I heard something weird about search and seizure in cars, where apparently when highways became a thing and cars were really taking over the states, that someone tried to sue the government and said, you can't look in my car because it is my property. So in the same way that you can't enter my house without a warrant, you can't look in my car without a warrant. And they took it all the way to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court ended up ruling that it was because it is your car, but it's on state land or federal land, as opposed to your house is on your private land. So it's not your house that's private, it's the land that you live on that is. And so because your car is on the road and that's owned by the government, actually you can be searched. And that was because that was going to be a really big fucking problem for the cops, where if they'd said, no, my car is like my house, you need a fucking warrant to stop me and do anything about this.
You do need a warrant to search someone's car, actually, in the U.S.
Oh, I thought that you just needed suspicion and sneaky.
They can get around it that way, but even if they have suspicion, you can make them go get a warrant.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing, though. If they can get around it, they're getting around it. Like, that's the thing that's so fascinating about. In the end, the problem with cops is they're human beings, and human beings, just given the opportunity, will do the old cheeky work around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. According to Google, 44.1% fully first dose in the U.S., 31% full vax.
That's so amazing. That's what, like 130 million people?
That is, in fact, 14 people, Chris. Can you believe that?
No, there's so few people there. You guys really fill out.
Weird. It's just the size of people makes it seem like it's a much fuller country.
Fully vaccinated 103 million people. And then it also has plus 202 million underneath it. I don't know what that means. And single dose given 243 million plus 3.
That's
so
amazing.
In 2 weeks, 243 million people will be fully vaccinated.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's all just, let's just get this over with. You know what I'm saying? Can we just all, I want to do shows and be a comedian.
It's how everybody feels about everything. People want to go back. Well, actually, that's not true. Most people are like, oh, fuck, I got to go back to my job. Fuck this.
But I
think that's going to be one of the weirdest things about coming back. I think a lot of people are going to be like, I got to go back to being in the world. I hate this, but I also kind of hated the world too.
I mean, yeah, but hopefully it's one of those things where the world hopefully is somewhat different and better. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just like that duck.
I mean,
it's a goose.
That is a goose.
Yeah. Hell of a goose. Mischief goose.
I mean, I haven't looked at the chat once, and I feel very bad about it.
Oh, God. Guys, get in that chat.
It's mostly Alex Watson trying to challenge me to a duel.
I don't
but
like that at all.
I'm working here, you know?
There's 120 comments in the chat that I missed.
No, you got to fucking get after it, bro. I mean, I'm just fascinated to see how the fucking world shakes it all out. It's going to be a real fucking goose-a-maloose situation. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah. Europe is opening back up for American tourists.
Yeah, but Europe has the same vaccination rate as Canada currently. So it's one of the. I read that too, but I was like, that's cheating. They're just trying to infect the Americans.
You have to be vaccinated to go.
That's even weirder. I feel like they're just going to then stab you at the airport and then just take your dip your blood like a cup in and just and drink it. Like, it's so insane. I don't know. I'm also just like, I got to go to Canada supposedly in June for my brother.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you about that. When you going?
I don't know. It's COVID times and the entire country is shut down.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's this. I keep saying to my brother, I was like, "Is your graduation canceled yet?" And he's like, They haven't said anything." And I'm like, "You have to ask them, because right now I have to pay $3,000 to the government to sit in a hotel. Like, I'll do it, but I need to know."
I would recommend just zooming in.
It's what he wants. You know what I mean? You only graduate once. I'd like to do something nice for him, but it's also just one of those things where it's like, at a certain point, Canada's bungled this so much. And he's also in Alberta, which is the only province that is like, all right, highest amount of COVID spikes for our province today. Gyms are only allowed to be at half capacity. It's like, oh, for fuck's sakes, you're not shutting anything down.
You should fly to the city nearest the border and then drive through.
I mean, I've thought about doing this, but the problem is that depending on which border it is, that might be closed by the time I make that plan. So like Ontario has now said, you just can't come in for not an important reason.
Yeah, but Alberta's never going to do that.
Yeah, but who knows what Alberta will do? You know what I mean? Like, it's like one of those things where it's also like, I just am going to wait and see. I also don't want to drive across the border, because how do you get the rental car back? You know what I mean? Like, what, then I got to drive back to Billings, Montana?
I don't know. I keep expecting the Alberta government to release a press statement that just says "Yippee-ki-yay, motherfuckers."
I know word on the street is Alberta has actually just declared COVID not real, and they're just like, we're just going for it. Are you surprised, by the way, that no one has just done that? Just fuck it, we're going for it. Wait, what do you mean? It's like, we're just gonna do.
Sweden did it.
Mm-hmm.
Sweden just went for it, and it did not go well.
No, well, Brazil as well. Brazil did something very similar.
Yeah, also one of the worst.
Yeah. I mean, but Brazil is in a way worse situation than Sweden is it not?
Yeah, but they also don't have the services and huge population and all those fun things.
Yeah. Can you imagine trying to control COVID in a favela? Oh my God!
Apparently, the gangs did that.
They just dragged COVID into one of those weird courtyards and stabbed it a bunch of times, like in City of God.
No, they went around. Same thing happened in Mexico, where they the gangs went around to all the favelas and were like, "Stay inside, only go out when you have to, or we'll fucking murder you." And I was listening to an interview with one of them, and he was saying that the reason that they did it was because, let's say there's an old woman with COVID and a member of a gang from Brazil with COVID, and they're both in there, and there's only one respirator. That old lady's getting that respirator. They're just going to let gangsters die. And so the gangsters, out of full self-interest, locked everything down just so that if they got sick, they'd be more likely to be treated.
Fascinating. Fucking fascinating. Also coming in from the chat, time travel agent, people are apparently just walking across the Rainbow Bridge land border crossing at Niagara. Well, great. Here's the thing. As long as I know I can get in, I'll just walk across at Billings, Montana. Because it's like Montana that borders Alberta. It's a ludicrous state that's not real. Maybe the Dakotas.
One of the north, I'm guessing the north one.
You never know.
Whatever's next to Washington State.
But isn't South Dakota? Yeah, what is next to JF? What's next to Washington State?
Idaho. You go Idaho, Wyoming, Montana, North Dakota.
All right, so you're saying, Idaho is next to it, then Montana?
Yeah, Idaho borders it. So if you ever play Tacoma Comedy Club, you're about a 20, 30-minute drive from Idaho. And that's on the east side of Washington State.
So weird.
Yeah, it's Montana that you want.
Yeah, it's Montana that I would be dealing with here. Yeah.
Yeah, because Idaho's got that thin little thing right at the top and then broadens out at the bottom. It's a nice thick state.
Yes.
But,
I won't be going to Billings. Billings nowhere close to the Canadian border. I'll either be going to Eureka, hoping for Eureka, Cut Bank.
Well, I'm telling those places probably don't have airports.
Yeah, you'd have to go to Great Falls at best.
Yeah.
What about Scooby, Montana?
Definitely not.
Full of ghosts that are secretly groundskeepers. I wouldn't go there.
Well, okay, but what's the capital of Montana? It's not Billings.
I'm pretty sure it is. Are you sure it's not Billings?
No, I don't know a lot. I can tell you. So, what's the state capital of Billings? Billings state capital is, according to this, I think it's Helena, Montana.
Never even heard of it.
That sounds plausible.
Yeah, but state capitals are never what they should be.
Yeah, it's Sacramento in in California.
Yeah,
it should be Los Angeles or San Francisco.
Why are we all just shitting on San Diego now? Just because it's a garbage place for garbage people? Is that what we're doing?
Why?
Hey, I get a lot of love in San Diego.
That's why.
I like that. That's how we all rate our cities. It's how well we did in them.
I was just there on Friday.
A lot of followers in San Diego. I sold out 3 shows in San Diego.
I was just in. Yeah, there's Montana right there. It's Helena, Montana. Helena, Montana, by the way, home of the Helena Historic Society.
I bet you Helena's got an airport.
Yeah, but then I gotta fucking get from. I guarantee. Let's do Helena, Montana. And also, let me tell you who's not giving a fuck about COVID. The people in Montana. I bet.
Well, they actually are, because they did the Sturgis bike rally, went through there and really fucked some shit up for a while.
Oh shit!
North, South Dakota, Montana, and Wyoming were like the highest rates of COVID. So all 7 people got it.
Is that where ICP played a concert?
No, I don't know. I remember, and it was Smash Mouth. It is 6.5 hours to Calgary from Helena, Montana.
That's not
6.5 hours, a lot shorter than 2 weeks, though.
No, but I still have to quarantine for 2 weeks once I'm in Calgary.
I don't think you have to quarantine if you drive.
You 100% have to quarantine because you drive. The reason why.
But it's not a hotel, though, so you don't.
But also, do you have to quarantine if you're fully vaxxed?
Yes.
That's stupid.
You have to quarantine twice. You have to quarantine and get 2 COVID tests that you pay for, because in Canada they stopped giving out COVID tests in September.
What?
You have to pay $200 per COVID test in the country of Canada.
But if you're fully vaccinated, that doesn't make sense.
Yep. You're right.
Dumb country.
Yeah, this is the problem with the entire nation.
One of the smartest countries. That is a very dumb thing.
Canada is not one of the smartest countries. Canada is next to America.
So I will tell you this. You guys have tricked us into thinking you're one of the smartest.
No. It's what it is we're next to you psychos. You know how weird Canada would be without the context of America?
That's true.
Yeah.
You guys are a very woodsy people.
No, we're creeps, man.
No, it's just one big small town.
You have to understand, bear in mind, and I can't stress this enough, we elected a man who did blackface twice, November of 2019.
Crackhead mayor in our biggest city, and then elected his brother to run the fucking province after he died.
His brother is currently presiding over Ontario. The reason why Ontario, and they have absolutely scientifically figured this out, and I want you all to strap in for some stupid. The reason why there's a spread in Ontario is all frontline workers were given no paid days off for when they were sick. Meaning at grocery stores, the people that were working there who were earning minimum wage were getting COVID because they were at a grocery store and then going to work full COVID and then coughing on food, selling that food to people who go home, ate COVID, get COVID. Now we have COVID. And by the way, when this was pointed out by the press, he was in the middle of a COVID lockdown, still being paid. And so they just started publishing how much he's made in lockdown versus frontline workers in Ontario. And he came forward and was like, I've heard the calls. I'll be taking care of this. They get 3 days, max $200 over the 3 days. And it was just like, what? That's just way worse, actually. And he's like, yeah, handled. No, Canada's crazy. For example, like your face when you're like, but you've been vaccinated. And it's like, yeah. And they're like, they don't care. Because the problem we're also gonna have to worry is variants. Variants. I'm gonna burn the New York Times building to the ground, and I'm gonna beat up everyone who tries to run out of the flames and throw them back in there. I want you to read.
Just take a second to just picture that. Just close your eyes and just picture John standing shirtless in front of a on fire New York Times building, just punching people as they flee. You motherfuckers!
You realize some of them are art critics and like
they're gonna go down like that.
And you know what? A bruising has been cruising for them since the middle 90s. My name is Death, and I am here to bring you to God. Read any single one of the New York Times' supposed big articles about their variants. The headline will read something like, new variant kills your mom. And then you read the first line of the article. There's actually no proof of this, and yet some people are thinking it. And you want to be, because of there was one that was literally Brazil variant resistant to vaccine. The article started with, is a concern some people have. A concern they shouldn't have. And you're like, no, that's not, stop. I know I miss Trump. You miss Trump. We all miss Trump.
Clickbait.
That's the problem. But here's the thing. It's now bled into the thing where everyone's just like, it's the variants. The variants are going to get us. And it's like, name one person who's gotten the vaccine and then gotten COVID. We know a huge cross-section of people. You're also in the place where if it's going to happen, it's going to happen in the cesspool that is Florida.
I mean, I'm selling merch.
Yeah. Inside.
I'm wearing a mask. I'm outside. I usually go outside, wear a mask. But
but you're still I was selling merch in Arizona in January.
I sold it in Atlanta a couple of weeks ago.
Hell yeah, Pam. Like, why wouldn't you?
This is the weirdest brags I've ever seen. Well, the cases were through the roof in this place. And I rubbed tummies with my guests. We had
PDMG. I assume this is. I know PDMG. Yes, I do. Is that full test or lateral flow test for $200 in Canada? I don't know. I just know that you have to pay for your tests in Canada, which is another thing that everyone's like, why do we have to do this? We still have worse COVID than the America where it's free. And they're like, another.
Also, don't you guys have free healthcare?
In theory, yes. Yeah, I got to say, Miller Queen did make a good point about stopping you for 2 weeks. It stops you from the vaccine stops you from feeling the symptoms of it, but you can still have it and transmit it.
Yes. But only 1% chance of transmitting it or less.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
Yeah, this is another. By the way, do you want to know where you're really concerned about getting COVID from a vaccinated person? I'll tell you the news organization. Do you want to guess which one it is? You can guess which news organization. It's not the New York Post, but it is the correct city, JF. Would you like to take another guess at which newspaper has been saying that?
Should I go to I can probably get a prop for this if we need it.
Yes, I think you should. I think you should get a prop for it.
JF, I got a new Ebbets Field hat.
Is anyone else really hoping he's about to hold up a daily news? So we can all
just like the Buffalo Times.
We all can sing my favorite part of my favorite Billy Joel song.
We didn't start the fire?
No, the Daily News in Empire State of Mind for no reason. Just the coda before he goes into the chorus. The Daily News. It's one of those things when you find out Billy Joel's an alcoholic, you're like, man, I'm not surprised. But when you but before you know that, you're just
there it is.
This guy's a weird. Oh, that is quite a prop. Indeed.
Wow. Yeah, there it is. There it is.
Hang on. Are you telling me that now with the New York Times Sunday edition, you get just a ball cap?
No, I had to buy this at Christmas time.
It's so depressing that but it is like you read the New York Times reporting on COVID. So much of it is just like it's so exact. What does it say on the front cover? Hey, look, what's the headline under that red map of doom?
The pandemic reaches a new global peak.
Yeah, that's mostly India, though.
Yeah, but like read the article, and it's like it'll be by population because it's in India. This is the problem.
824,000 cases yesterday.
How many of those were in Los Angeles? 727,000.
I can tell you right now.
I'm going to say it's India because India is literally the worst place to be on in the planet.
Yeah, it's horrific there.
I know. I was messaging with some comics in India, and you think you got it bad in the UK.
Yeah.
Well, I assume that they're just inside. Like they're just inside forever.
They're just inside people.
Why would a newspaper make a baseball cap? Steve Mooney, this is the weird thing about New Yorkers, is that if something is old and from New York, they will just wear it on their bodies like it's a sports team.
I mean, it's not even New York. It's anything old. We just like old stuff.
No, but New York is specifically like if it's like what, like, you know what I mean? Like they love, yeah, exactly. Like I guarantee he's about to bring a scarf with a bunch of subway stations on it. He's got a fucking t-shirt with an old logo on it. Chris, are you full texting right now?
No, I'm just looking at what this week's COVID cases were in the UK.
Oh, okay, because it literally looked like you were just full, or just watching the little emotes underneath you just have a full battle. Are there any New York Library hats? Well, I just don't know.
Guaranteed. I bet there's a tote.
See, this is my point exactly.
Nice.
Why would you ever root for the Mets?
86, baby. 86. Mike Piazza deserved better.
This is absolutely nonsense. But wait, aren't you a Yankees guy?
No, I'm a Mets guy. My dad's a diehard Yankees guy. Well, when I was a kid, the Mets sucked, so you can get free tickets. So we would go to see the Mets play all the time. So I never got to see it. My dad like never took me to a Yankees game. I just went to Mets games because they sucked.
Wait, your dad, who is a Yankees fan, would take you to a Met game?
Yeah, because the tickets were free.
That's true.
Literally free.
Literally free. We would get free tickets.
Holy shit, that's amazing.
Or tickets would be like $7, you know?
Yeah, because I had $7 tickets.
My mom's side of the family is Mets fans too.
I mean, do you think that Mike? This is such a New York inside conversation.
Yes,
wait, what was that? Mike Francis is gay?
Oh, I thought you were going to say Mike Piazza.
No,
Mike Piazza's gay. Yeah.
Is Mike Piazza gay?
Yeah. The play,
Bell and Sebastian sang about it.
Yeah, the Broadway play "Take Me Out" is kind of loosely based on Mike Piazza.
What?
Have you never seen the Broadway play "Take Me Out"? Amazing play. See a lot of dicks in that play.
Is there any footage of Mike Piazza going and being like,
"No,
I don't know"?
That'd be pretty great.
Mike Piazza, I want you to know, Mike Piazza has said that he's straight.
Yeah, multiple times, but also he's like been seen with boyfriends and shit around New York.
Oh, then why does he not just be honest?
Because he was one of the biggest stars in Major League Baseball in the like 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah.
When that wasn't like socially acceptable.
I mean, I got news for you. I know a lot of baseball fans now. Not all are a lover of the homosexual community.
He is the owner of one of the most badass moves in baseball ever, where a guy charged the plate, right, trying to knock the ball out of his hand, popped his shoulder out of place, and he just did the old and popped it back in and kept playing the game. And when he was asked about it afterwards, he said, I saw Mel Gibson do it on Lethal Weapon, and I figured how hard could it be?
I mean, my crazy thing about Mike Piazza is that a sports radio duo named Mike Francesa and Chris Mad Dog Russo claim they're the reasons Mike Piazza came to the Mets.
Really?
That would be Mike and Mad Dog in the morning.
They were in the afternoon. And
they used to be in the morning when I was a kid.
It's
fair
enough. You have to listen. Them arguing about the bathrooms at Yankee Stadium is one of the most intense, unnecessary arguments I've ever heard in my entire life. They get jacked up. You have to listen to it because it's so innocuous, unimportant sports information because it's from 15 years ago. One of them, Chris Mad Dog Russo, cries openly about the San Francisco Giants in a way that's so intense. And you're like, I don't think your family liked you. Like he is literally talking. He's like, what is it? Like it's so crazy that like you have to listen. If you're looking for something soothing and weird, I cannot recommend you enough. Mike and the Mad Dog. Just literally put Mike and the Mad Dog versus Mike and the Mad Dog rant. Mike and the Mad Dog loses it. Also, Mike Francesa, once Mad Dog leaves, he gets really unhealthy and just falls asleep on air all the time. Do yourselves a favor and watch that, because let me do it. I'm going to show you how. All right. This is him on air. So, JF, you talk.
Words coming out of my mouth, mostly about the Yankees, a little bit about the Mets. And then, hey, buddy. Good buddy. Hey, buddy.
No. So you got to do it. So you don't see me. You're just continue talking.
I was hoping that they would, get some help in the outfield this season. Yeah.
So it's literally he wakes up in the middle of someone answering a question and has no idea what the guy has said and is trying to signal to his producer to say in his ear what is being discussed, but his producer can't see him. Because it's so fucking good. Anyway, they claim that they were talking about what was the position Mike Piazza played?
Catcher.
He was a catcher. They were like, they need a good catcher. Mike Piazza wants to come to New York. It's all he's been talking about. They should get him. And the ownership was apparently in a car being like, why haven't we met with Mike Piazza? And then they had him within the day. Like he was just like, why haven't you called me? Yeah.
That leads me to think that is the most incompetent general manager in all of sports.
I got news for you. The Mets were pretty bad, I believe. Like that was like the Mets were
not pretty.
Yeah, they were Ottawa Senators level of negligent operation as a front office.
From 86 to 2001, they were bad. And then in 2001, they had a good run. Like 2000, they were okay. 2001, they had a great run. Made it to the World Series against the Yankees. Incredible. Got swept in the World Series, or lost in 5, actually.
Can you send this clip? Has anyone seen this? I want to see this clip very badly.
Oh yeah, that one's great.
I've not seen that. Please send that. Please send it. Please send it.
I mean, it's pretty crazy because you literally hear a man lose his job.
Which part? Which part? Was it when he gives out the score?
It's like you'll see it. I'll just play it. It's crazy. It's there's a moment where you go, oh, your career's over. This guy is announcing in Cuba now.
Is that actually where he's announcing now?
Yeah, I looked him up after I watched the clip, and he just this is like a few months ago, 8 months ago this happened, and he let me see if this includes the slur, and now all he's doing is announcing in Cuba. Oh, hold on. Yep, this is the one. There it is. He just said it.
Oh,
cool.
I'm also JF. Have you seen this? Do you know this clip?
No. Are we gonna play it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring it up. Yeah.
Also,
it's the Reds announcer.
Do you remember that basketball announcer getting drawn into an anti-BLM on Twitter by a former player? No, I do not remember that. Oh, is he Cincinnati Reds?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good anyway. So for those, Chris, do you know about the Cincinnati Reds?
Is that the team that Marge Schott used to own?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, she was a fucking monster.
Marge Schott.
Hey, Megan.
Marge Schott was an actual Nazi. Yeah. Like she was 100% actual Nazi. Photos of Hitler in her office. Hard N with a hard R to the player's face.
Yeah.
Eventually banned from being able to own a major league team.
Yeah, she got Donald Sterling.
Yeah. She got Donald Sterling, but without any of the blowback, because the Donald Sterling was like, yeah, you're being racist, but also this is so clearly about the television rights deal, and they're just trying to force you out. Like, everyone was like, this is not about any deal. You have to stop saying those words at our meetings, Marge. You're out of your mind. Also made the players walk her dogs, which I always found very weird.
So demeaning. These are millionaires.
Yeah. During games, supposedly, can he come walk my dog?
Wow. All right, here we go. No. Here we go. Mr. Reds announcer, let me know if you can hear this. It's quiet for the first few seconds.
Okay.
You hear that?
Yes.
Yep.
Reds Live, the pregame show presented by Ray St. Clair Roofing. 3-0 ball game with the Reds in front of the Royals. We go to the top half of the fifth inning. Castellanos to lead things off. Jim Day's going to be taking us the rest of the way through this game as Holland takes over on the mound. I made a comment earlier tonight that I guess went out over the air that I am deeply ashamed of. If I have hurt anyone out there, I can't tell you how much I say from the bottom of my heart. I'm so very, very sorry. I pride myself and think of myself as a man of faith. As there's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be a home run.
Come on, buddy.
And so that'll make it a 4-0 ball game. I don't know if I'm going to be putting on this headset again. I don't know if it's going to be for the Reds. I don't know if it's going to be for my bosses at Fox. I'm going to apologize for the people who signed my paycheck for the Reds, for Fox Sports Ohio, for the people I work with, for anybody that I've offended here tonight. I can't begin to tell you how deeply sorry I am. That is not who I am. It never has been.
Yeah, you said it when you thought you were being recorded.
People that could back that up. I am very, very sorry, and I beg for your forgiveness. Jim Day will take the rest of the way home.
Oh, that's so good.
That's
crazy, right? Crazy.
My favorite part is that he stopped to do the announcement. I know that's my favorite part, but
I knew, but it's that also, buddy. It wasn't a line drive. Like it wasn't even a home run.
No, it was a home run.
It was a home run, yeah.
Oh, okay. Still, that's phenomenal stuff. I mean, yeah. Also, what was he talking about?
San Francisco, I think.
I saw comedian Augie Smith on Thursday doing a set. It was very funny, which he was just talking about comedians banging on about freedom of speech. And he was like, we used to be free. When we talked about San Francisco, you know what we meant. Every comedian had this joke. You dropped your wallet and you had to kick it back to your car because you knew in those days of freedom that if you bent over, 8 million gay men would rip through your trousers. It's so good. It was so good. Very funny guy. Very funny. It was so fun.
Someone made this great point to me, and comedy's all about points, but it actually was a good one, just saying that those guys complain about freedom of speech because they have nothing else to complain about anymore. They're all millionaires. And it's like, who's stopping your freedom of speech, Dave Chappelle? You got paid $80 million for a stand-up special on the largest platform for entertainment in the world. No one's stopping you. So calm down.
No, what it is that they're not used to people saying that's bad.
Yeah.
In the end, I've said it before and I'll say it again. The Chappelle special's on Netflix. You know what he needed to do? Stop. Stop fucking giving me messages, man, in a onesie. You're in a onesie. You're not in charge. Stop it. Let me tell you what I think about trans people. Literally, no one asked the multimillionaire from Ohio his fucking opinion. And if you're going to give it, you got to put a joke at the end of it. You can't just call someone soul flimsy in a 50-seater and then read from a book you didn't write and call that an hour special. The biggest thing is that he read from someone else's book. You don't get to read from someone else's book. Chris, thoughts?
That one, I think, is the only special where I actually would have allowed that, because the whole point of the two specials is one is a finished special and one is a set in a club that you wish you'd been in the back of the room for. And it felt like he was showing two different versions of stand-up comedy. That thing, when there's a guy just going, which is Chappelle's whole thing in clubs, is he just fucking goes for 3 hours, right? Material or not.
And there are when that happens. When that happens, there are moments where you're like, Jesus Christ, that's incredible. This is amazing. But also when I watch a special, I want to see a special. Though I will say I also do kind of like Thinky Pain by Mark Maron, and that kind of feels like a guy doing a set.
Yeah, that definitely felt like a guy doing a set, but all of the jokes had an ending.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. That's the only one. Oh, sorry, Jeff.
Which is before Louis got in trouble. I kind of fell off on him because that hysterical special, maybe it was the Beacon Theater special. He just ended one of the jokes by going, and that's how that one ends because I didn't write an ending. Well, it's like, then don't tell the fucking joke in the special. Go work out your ending.
Yeah.
I mean, you have one job.
Yeah. That's it.
I mean, the only one person I'll allow actually getting away with that is Greg Proops, because Greg Proops had the greatest "that's how that joke ends" I've ever heard, which was, "Yep, that's right. That's how that thin premise hangs over the cliff," and it was either work on that joke or work on the rest of the jokes. So the improvement in quality begins now, and it's such a fucking ball, like, to be like, wait, what? And then it was true. He then killed for the rest of it, but it was like, did you do a shitty joke 2 jokes in just to tell us all now the really good jokes are starting? Because that's a fucking big dick move, man. Like, holy shit. He also stood in front of. He just kept walking between air conditioners on stage, which I thought was a real ballsy move. It was the Edinburgh Festival and it was incredibly hot, and he just went, "There's 2 air conditioners on stage. I'll be walking between them." So he would do a joke and then just walk to the other air conditioner and then walk back. It was great.
It's so funny.
I saw him in that year. I saw him and Tommy Tiernan. Greg Proops didn't advertise he was doing an improvised set, but was clearly doing an hour of just sort of off the top of his head new stuff, but riffed, and was very charming. And then I saw Tommy Tiernan do Stuff I've Thought of Today, did an improvised hour of comedy, and I wanted to fight Tommy. I think Tommy Tiernan's possibly the best comedian going right now, and I wanted to fight him after. It was the most unnecessary. If I'm sitting in a room, even if it's like, even at a club and stuff like that, like where you're working on stuff, there's still yeah, thank you. It was so bad. There's still just a level that I still want you to have, like, rummage through a note. You know what I mean? Like, I just want some care.
Yeah, you gotta show up with something you wrote that day or 2 days ago. You know,
it's a show in the end.
We were talking about that on my afternoon stream today, weirdly, and someone was saying that apparently he immediately regretted it, really regretted lining up a 2-year tour for it. And when the reason he did it is someone saw him, like, he ate it at set list one night, just fucking ate it, like, did really, really poorly. And some people were like talking shit to him, like making fun of him that he can't riff. And so he's like, "I'll fucking show you who can riff." And so then he overcommitted, booked a 2-year tour for an all improv show, and it was a bad show.
I mean, we all get beat sometimes in comedy.
Yeah.
You can't win everyone, especially when it comes to riffing and crowd work. If you're batting 500, you're pretty good at it. If you're batting more than 500, you're really good at it.
Yeah.
Baseball.
But he is like, are you familiar with Tommy Tiernan?
No, I've never heard of him.
What?
He's brilliant. Like, genuinely one of the best alive. Absolutely phenomenal. And so for him to eat it is an especially tough thing, because he's been killing so hard since I saw him when I was 18, when I was in Ireland, and he killed harder than anyone I've seen since.
Okay, isn't this a good example of why comics need to not take this so fucking serious? You're talking about the guy who's like, he's one of the greatest who's ever lived. Never heard of him. Yeah. People who take, like, I don't know. I think, like, this stuff's important, but I treat it. It's the only thing I love, not the only thing I love. But, like, it's
you also love the New York Times based on your hat.
But you know what I mean. Like, it's what my life is kind of based around. But at the same time, it's like, if you let it, you got to realize that, like, you're just swinging dick jokes. There was just a big explosion out of your little men.
Yeah, I get it, JF. I should have gone to the Improv last night as opposed to having drinks with friends. I get it. I'm sitting right here.
Should have had drinks with friends.
JF, I get it. Yeah. I should go right now to a parking lot. I need to find Rick Shapiro. I should listen to everything he says. You're right.
Rick Shapiro.
I was trying to think of like a really sketchy bad comedian to get advice from, but also not one that, like, I would feel bad saying. Rick Shapiro's a good one.
Yeah.
Is he still alive?
I have no idea.
He's still alive.
Chris's wife became friends with Rick Shapiro in one of the greatest. Why would you ever invite that level of just irritating chaos into your life?
Yeah. It was very fun because he was clearly infatuated with her. And I was like, oh, Rick Shapiro's like got it for you. And she was like, no, he doesn't. And then she came back and she was like, yeah, he does. Yeah.
I love it more than anything in the world when someone doesn't believe you and you're like, no, trust me, he does. And they're like, come on. And you're like, oh, you don't have to believe me if you don't want to. And then you're like, see, told you. Good times. Bye-bye.
I had that once with a woman I was just having like a casual thing with, and she introduced me to one of her friends, and her friend was like, super nice guy, very nice, very cool, still friends with him to this day. And as we left, I was like, oh, that guy's in love with you. He doesn't just like you, he's full in love with you. Was
this the girl saying this to you?
No, I was saying that to her, and she was like, no, he's just a friend. They have now been together for 5 years.
Amazing. Amazing. Hey, I'm not commenting on Chris's chat. I know you're just going to get me involved in some sort of blowy uppy game.
They absolutely are. Oh yeah, JF, the people going, that's because someone threw a bomb at me.
Are these actual people? Is this a real game?
Yeah. So these are avatars of people that are in my chat, and they can attack each other. I can do this. We can have a battle royale.
Nah, I need to test something. No, you don't. You're just fucking gonna attack
will disappear, and then they'll come back in via plane. It's just a fun little bottom game for the people to play. You know,
that's pretty fun. Oh, one of them just did a flip.
And now here comes violence. Now it's all violence.
Oh, it's pretty great, man. The internet's absolutely something. Oh, how have we come so far from election night when I was literally holding my phone to the microphone? Also, JF, are you going to pop in on Thursday? We're doing an election night stream for Scotland's election.
What do you know about Holyrood?
Yeah, what do you know about Holyrood? What do you know? Let's do an election.
I really know 100% of nothing.
Ever been to Scotland?
Yes, I bought a Strokes record there in 2001.
Which one?
The first Strokes record, Is This It, with the original UK cover and New York City Cops on it. Still have it. It's one of my most valuable records.
Is that the ass cover, or is that a different cover?
The ass with the leather glove covering the front.
Yeah.
Wait,
classic
what?
Cover.
There's a different Is This It covered than the like weird arty one?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find it.
I got it.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. So much vagina in that fucking cover.
Yeah, it's pretty great, right?
It's so much.
Yeah, it's like a Robert Mapplethorpe photo if Robert Mapplethorpe was straight.
That's so. Also, New York City Cops, such a better fucking song than what they put on that record to replace it. I have to tell you.
I don't think they put a different song on to replace it.
Didn't they, or did they just cut the song?
They just cut the song.
Oh, that's a shame. It's a fucking great song.
Yeah, I think it's on it. I think if you buy it now, it's on it.
Okay.
It just wasn't in 2001.
Yes, no, they switched the song. It was switched out with a song called When It Started. It became the 9th track of the 11 tracks.
Huh.
Here's the other big thing to, of course, remember about the Strokes song is, or the Strokes is, of course, that didn't they like famously rip off Last Night Is Just Some Tom Petty song?
Really?
Oh, When It Started, it's a pretty good song.
I never heard that. It's a great song.
What the fuck is that noise?
It was just me playing the Strokes.
Oh.
I don't think they ripped off a Tom Petty song, but you never know.
I mean, probably not intentionally. I know that like the Red Hot Chili Peppers got in major shit because of Danny California.
Also, the Strokes just won the Grammy for Best Album.
What?
For the new album. Yeah. The new Strokes record, phenomenal.
Like actually best album or best like alternative album?
I think it was Best Rock Album.
Okay. Still pretty great. Still great. But
yeah, it's a really, really good record. I would say it's either if they just put this record out, like if this was their first record ever, people would be like, this band's going to be huge. I would say it's their second or third best record, which is saying a lot because their first record and second record are both phenomenal.
Wow. Yeah. It's Is This It? And then is it Room on Fire?
Room on Fire, baby.
Phenomenal albums.
Did a lot of press touring for Bernie Sanders, and then we're on SNL. Insane.
Yeah. They had a big year.
With an unsober John Mulaney. How rare.
Was he not sober at SNL?
He was not sober in 2020, supposedly, because he went into rehab in December of 2020.
I knew that, but I didn't know he was like fucked up while hosting the show.
I have no evidence of that. I'm just, one would assume. You don't go to rehab. I assume you don't go to rehab if you're sober and concerned about it. You go to rehab because you were sober, now you're not sober, and now it's time to get sober again.
Yeah, but he also strikes me as a guy who wouldn't get fucked up while doing the show.
You'd hope not.
Yeah.
You'd hope not. But in his stand-up, he talks a lot about how he would sort of get blackout and then just keep going and live his life.
That's true.
And so maybe he's one of those like power through guys where he's like, well, I got blackout right now, but I got work to do, and so everything's fine. Don't worry about it. I'm just going to do a line of Ritalin real quick. Don't mind me.
God, why were you drinking at work?
Yeah.
I mean, well,
but I also wouldn't be shocked if he was like snorting Adderall while working.
Yeah.
What's with America? America loves let's find a pill and we'll smash it, and then we'll take that.
Yeah, it's the quick way. We like an easier, softer way.
I hate it.
I found the Strokes Tom Petty thing.
Yes.
Let me read this out to you. Back in 2001, the Strokes released a song called Last Night. A few folks noted that the opening groove and guitar riff sounded an awful lot like American Girl, a track from Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers' eponymous 1976 debut LP. One of those who heard the similarity was Petty himself, who told Rolling Stone in 2006, the Strokes took American Girl. There was an interview that took place with them where they actually admitted it. That made me laugh out loud. And I was like, okay, good for you. Doesn't bother me. So he didn't sue them. He did note it, but he was fine with it.
I like Tom Petty just being like, all right, what the fuck happened? That?
Yeah, Tom Petty's like, I used to be in a Florida bar band. I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, I fuck chicks, bro. Tom Petty documentary, by the way, crazy thing, got sued by every record company because he found a flaw in his contract, which was if you claim you didn't understand what royalties were when it started, because he's been going long enough, it wasn't a thing. He didn't know what they were. So he had signed his royalties away to this record company, and the record company was then selling his royalties off. And he was like, fuck you. No, you can't sell. Like, that's mine. I own the song. And they're like, no, you signed your royalties away. He's like, I don't know what royalties are. I'm from Florida. Like, he literally was like, I'm from Florida and my name is Tom. I don't know these things. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't. And it's so funny. And apparently, like, he was literally like so they had to record Damn the Torpedoes in secret. After every song, the tapes were taken. He didn't know where they went and then driven away. Like, he would never know where they are. So if he was ever asked under oath, where are your most recent recordings? We want them to honor this contract. He could honestly say, I do not know.
Wow.
And so he went through the whole thing. Finally, he has a settlement meeting with all the record companies where they are like, we'll give you an opportunity to settle. And he couldn't stop his hands. He's like, my hands were wildly shaking. And he's like, I always just knew to, like, if I cleaned my hands with a penknife, like, I'll clean my nails, they won't shake because I'll be doing something. But, like, it was just lawyers talking to lawyers. So he's just sat next to his lawyer in some Century City, like, boardroom, cleaning his nails with a penknife. And he didn't realize that it freaked out all the record companies because they were like, what does this guy have? He's definitely in the right. Like, we were just trying to beat him. We got to fucking settle. And so they settled with him because he's like, I didn't know that he's like, I just knew that I didn't want, and he was 100% in the right. Like, they like, if it had got in front of a judge would have been like, yeah, you guys are wrong. He doesn't know. Like, his name's Tom and he's from Florida. He doesn't know what royalties are.
It's basically Aaron Carter with a guitar.
Yeah. He's like Aaron Carter minus drugs plus drugs.
Please excuse me while I eat this sandwich live on air.
Where did that sandwich come from?
My wife brought it to me because my life is fucking awesome.
No, but wait, when did it get slid in front of you? I didn't see any sort of exchange of sandwich.
Just like a minute ago. She just slid it onto the table
JF, did you see any sandwich get around?
Sandwiches. I think he had that sandwich there the whole time.
Did you
for an hour and 24 minutes he's been sitting on that sandwich.
JF, touch it. Feel the warmth.
Ooh.
Yeah, right?
Did you dead-eye that bagel sandwich? Is that a bagel sandwich?
It's a bagel chicken sandwich, mayo. There was some halloumi on there. It's good stuff.
Halloumi?
Oh, you don't know what halloumi is? Is a cheese that squeaks that you cook in a pan. Because in England, for some reason, they're like, we got to be able to cook our cheese. And
our cheese has to be charming.
I'll tell you this about halloumi cheese, though. It fucking rules, and I miss it every day.
Alex saw it. She says it was stealthy, but Chris lit up. That's right. My whole face went, sandwich.
Oh, my God. I could really go for a sandwich right now. I have no sandwich fixings in the house.
I'm going to make some turkey burgers for dinner.
I mean, when we were talking earlier in the year, JF, your dad just made a full Thanksgiving dinner in one of the crazier things I'd ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it was like a weeknight, too. I wonder why I got so fat during that month and a half period. I'm down 36 pounds, though.
Yeah, it's very nice, eh? You know what I mean? Go through a breakup, you gotta lean down. Have you been jacking off lots of ladies?
Hey, parents are in the next room.
I love Americans. Sex chat as an adult. They think they can still get in trouble for sex as adults. It's like, and it's to a man, every American. It's like going back 20 years. It's so fun. You know what?
What do you think? French?
I love it so much, and especially like tough New Yorkers yelling Staten Island at a seagull, running around, telling people about the water has something to do with the taste of food. Still won't talk about sex in a house their parents own. I won't talk about doing it, sir. What am I, some sort of man from Ohio? It's wonderful. This is why London's tougher than New York.
We're Catholics, baby.
I love it. This is all proving my point. Also, you totally ignored the true statement, which is London's a tougher city to live in than New York. Every New York person doesn't believe that. They're like, no, New York's tougher. 100% not.
London's pretty tough. I feel like you're less likely to get shot in London, though.
Yeah, but you're way more likely to have so many other worse things happen to you.
I lost my hope, JF. I lost my hope.
Chris literally has no hope.
New York now versus New York in the 80s, yeah. It isn't not the toughest it used to be. Though New York is kind of wild again. A lot of people getting shot again. A lot of people getting stabbed and robbed. Makes you feel like a kid again.
Yeah, it's great. But it's just one of those things where it's like whenever I'm in New York, people are like, man, tough adjustment. I'm like, what, just getting on your orderly and organized subway that runs at all times? Oh, the burden.
I love it. I still think about it. There isn't a day that I don't think about moving back.
And it was purely just because it was a COVID thing of like, eventually you'll get a nice apartment in LA. Wait, what's happening with your apartment in LA?
I'm moving in hopefully in July or end of June if all goes well. Great. Take the special on the 12th, drive up to New York, pick up my record console, drive it back. Probably stay in Florida for a week worth of editing.
Just to sort of get it. And is it being, and where, so you're doing a special, can you tell people, I don't think anyone here is in Florida, but are you going to do a thing of, hey, here's a weird thing, just for COVID, are you doing sort of a remote version of it or no? Fuck that.
What do you mean a remote version?
Like setting up and just being like, hey, if people aren't in Florida, but still want to support the taping, setting it up like one of the adding a Zoom camera to it.
Like a live stream element? No,
yeah.
You're going to sell it. So, Bill Burr's
it's not how the internet works anymore.
That's very funny.
Bill Burr's you give everything away for free, and then much later you die. That's how that works now.
Yeah. Bill Burr's company, All Things Comedy, is producing, along with a company called Coastal Creative, which is our boots on the ground production company, and we are going to take it. And there is one interested party already in purchasing it. That is a comedy company that is on linear and the internet. And then on the cable television, and then there's some potential for some other cable networks and streaming.
Put it in the private chat who it is. I want to know. Put it in private
those
chat.
names, JF. Give me those names.
Don't put it in public chat.
We want to be proud of you. We're already pretty proud. We want to be real proud.
Hold on. My laptop's about to die, so shit's getting chappy. Let me get a charger.
What about you, John? Have you been in talk with HBO Max? Trying to make the I'm very tall story.
I have, but it's only because my membership has been denied and I want them to resolve it. No, I haven't at this point. Either chat is private. New settings. Alex is trying a classic prank. Definitely had a conversation with his parents there. That was a full parent conversation. Trying to quickly explain what streaming is. It's like a telephone call, Dad. Dad.
He asked me if I was cold because I was wearing that Mets jacket. He saw me through the doors that go to the.
That's very nice. That's a very sweet dad thing to say. You cold? Turn up the heat. Okay. You cold?
So, I leave on tour Wednesday. I'm going to be in, I think it's like 22 cities in the next 6 weeks, something like that. And then I tape on July 12th in St. Pete, Florida, at Coastal Creative. Bill Burr's company is producing. Mike Freiberg's directing. And then you met Mike. We did the stand-up show in his backyard. He took nice photos of everybody.
That guy's great. Oh, he's directing it? That's wonderful.
Yeah. And he's like famous photographer guy. Shoots for your favorite New York Times occasion. Or Newsweek or The Atlantic and stuff like that.
I like those ones.
Yeah. And so, and then we're going to hopefully have a rough cut by a week after, and then we're going to take it out to market and see who wants to pay for it.
So you will record a whole thing, and there's a possibility that no one will want it. I know that's what happened with Sam Morrill, right? That's why he went to YouTube, is because he shopped it around, no one bought it. But
well, he didn't. He shopped it around before shooting it, and nobody would buy it, and then he then made it himself, and then Comedy Central was like, we'll put it on our YouTube for that first one.
Okay.
Which the YouTube, if Comedy Central wants to give me, $160,000 to put it on the linear and have nobody watch it, I'm interested in that, but I'd much rather have it go on the YouTube for dramatically less money and have 5 to 8 million people see it.
This is the thing, is in the end, it's just about fucking getting it on some sort of way that everyone sees it. And it's just
Comedy Central's YouTube, which, doesn't pay a boatload of money, but it's worth it for ticket sales.
I like that, man, because that's betting on yourself. That's that Master P energy. That's that. Don't give me my fucking advance. I want what I'm going to sell. That's great.
Yeah. And so also, then there's other places it could end up.
I really hope it ends up on like a weird streaming site. Like it ends up on Paramount Plus.
That would also be if it ends up on Comedy Central, because Paramount Plus is CBS All Access.
Oh,
they just rebranded it. So that's why all all the Comedy Central stuff is on Paramount Plus.
Hilarious. It's so, but wait, like, what's weird about, because I had CBS All Access briefly because I was doing a writing packet for a CBS All Access show.
Now you have Paramount Plus.
Well, I didn't have it after I deleted it, but what was weird is it had Comedy Central stuff and it had none of the
stand-up.
Yeah, none of the stand-up that you'd think you would have.
Now they're putting up all the stand-up. Now they're putting up like the half hours and things like that. Thanks for the subscribe, person.
Oh, that was a new alert that just popped up that I was very surprised to see. I hadn't been subscribed to, but JF, thank you so much for commenting.
Yeah.
I appreciate the support.
The truth is, like, even if nobody does buy it, and there's the like 1 or 2 interested parties, I would, if I put it up on my own YouTube and it got like 100,000 views, I would be ecstatic. Or if it, worst comes to worst, it would end up on All Things Comedy's YouTube, which that would probably get it like 100,000 views. And I still get to go and do the rounds of all the podcasts and go out and promote it and get to probably do another late night. And I'm going to do an album. Like, I'm going to own it so whoever it goes to, it's going to be a licensing deal, and then I'm going to get to do an album, and I'm going to try to put the album out on like a rock label. Like I want to get it on like a Matador or a Sub Pop or a Dead Ocean or Third Man Records, you know.
I really want to have an album out on an independent like Sub Pop, or I'd love to do it on Network, which is the Canadian Sub Pop.
Nice.
But it's not quite as cachet as getting Sub Pop. I do like the idea of that. That's really cool.
I mean, the main thing is just get it out there because you then get paid royalties every month, and 100%. It's a goddamn delight.
Yeah, but the rock labels, I think, will do a better job in getting an album out there than the comedy labels will. Well, they have, like, an actual PR person and like connections to like, you know, NPR and WPIX, and like you can go and like do real press for it.
But a big part of it also is that a huge amount of a comedy record label is just releasing it for comedy channels. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just they'll just be like, well, can you get on Joe Rogan? No. Okay, well, me neither. So like just tweet about it a bit and then that's it. And it's like, yeah, all right.
Yeah, well, like record labels with actual PR person might be able to like get you on WPF.
I mean, yeah, that's true. Or
can they get me on Mike and Mad Dog in the afternoon? That's all I want to know.
You can't. No one can. But man, yeah, you should try and get on Jim Rome.
Oh shit, yeah, I would do Jim Rome.
Yeah, just old school sports radio. Just do Rush Limbaugh. Also, I was listening to a podcast about Rush Limbaugh. Here's the thing that I was the most shocked by. His name is actually Rush.
Oh yeah.
I thought you were going to say he's been dead for 20 years.
I mean, maybe. I mean, I loved how badly he died. He died in so much pain. It's wonderful. Isn't that good? Isn't that so good how hard? Like he died just absolutely covered in pain. And that's wonderful stuff. Oh,
what did he die from? Just 1,000 stabs?
Like so many cancers. He was, you know, like that end run of someone who has cancer where it's like, all right, it started in the pelvis, but you want to sit down because it has really gone for a walk. It's phenomenal stuff. I'm so pleased. Yeah, so let's sum up. Chris, how are you feeling once we've done hour and 36? Do we keep going? Do I go play?
I feel good. I just fucking had a sandwich. I feel great.
All right, I have to pee, so I'm going to pee, and then we'll keep going. JF, how are you feeling? Do you want to keep going?
Probably another...
Give us another 20. That'll make it 2 hours.
Yeah, I'll hang for a minimum of 20. And then I'm gonna go make dinner. I'm gonna hang until like 7. So you got 23 minutes out of me, and then I gotta go fire up the air fryer, the Ninja air fryer.
Oh my God, everyone's got a goddamn air fryer. We'll talk. I'm gonna pee, and then we'll come back and talk about air fryers.
Okay, we'll hold the air fryer combo until you get back.
All right. I'm pretty upset about that because I don't know what an air fryer is, but it sounds sexy.
Oh man. It's basically this thing that like
we got to hold the chat. We promised him. We'd hold the chat. I'm furious about it.
Another subscriber. Doing
great. I wish that were the case. It's just it's a very nice reminder to people that they can subscribe.
I think they should.
Thanks, man.
I'm gonna join. I signed up for Twitch. I don't have my own Twitch stream yet. I should get one because I'm doing it right now. Yeah. But when I get back to LA in July after I film the special, I'm gonna start up.
Nice.
My own. I'm gonna do it twice a week. I'm gonna do one that's like a podcast called Shooting the Shit, and it's just gonna be bullshitting with a friend. And then I'm gonna do a Patreon episode called Shooting the Bit, which will be people talking about their favorite joke from somebody else. And then the other thing is.
Oh, did you just get brought a sandwich?
No, I didn't get brought a sandwich, but my mom did come in the room.
Ah, nice.
And now she's slowly sneaking out of the room. She was trying to be quiet.
She was. I didn't hear her at all, but your face lit up.
Yeah. I like my mom a lot. She's good people.
That's nice.
Which reminder to everybody who's on the stream right now, a week from today is Mother's Day. Put a goddamn card in the mail, you savages.
Only in America. It's different here.
What?
And different in Canada.
What?
Yep.
Well, send your mom a card anyway, just to say I love you. It doesn't have to. Yeah. They always
absolutely correct.
And then Oh, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna add, just because the name of the podcast is Shooting the Shit, and this is a personal question, but we did a mega stream the other day. We did about 10 hours, and it came up with a comedian that he wipes his ass in a very, very strange way. I was just gonna ask, are you a stander or a sitter?
I'm a sitter.
Sitter. Okay. You see how you just said
I'm a cheek lifter.
Yeah, of course, everyone cheek lift. You can't do it without lifting the cheek. It's impossible. But this guy, he was telling a story. He said, "Oh, I shit on my bathroom floor wiping my ass," and we were all like, "Well, how is that possible?" And is your mom in the room again? Because I feel bad about her.
Just waved through the window.
That's so sweet.
It's like a door to the balcony.
I really love that. So apparently what he does is he stands up, turns around, and then bends over, puts his hand on the back of the toilet, and then wipes that way.
Why?
Yeah, he didn't have an answer. His answer was, nobody tells you how to do this.
No, people do. My parents from a very young age.
What are we talking about? Masturbation?
Chaz.
Kidding? Oh, are we talking about the goddamn standing to shit thing?
Yeah, that's how much it upset us. All we had to do was say his name. There it is.
I mean, JF, would you like to see our reaction clip?
Sure, if you got it.
I certainly do.
Well, now that John's back while he's pulling up this reaction clip, an air fryer is basically a deep fryer that uses no oil. It uses convection air to simulate of what it's like to fry something. So you can make like French fries with no oil.
Still crispy?
Still crispy. Or you can like use it to like, there's like a grill plate you can put in. You can like grill hamburgers or steaks, or you can roast food in it. So it's basically like a convection oven that like can do different jobs. It's the best food thing I've ever gotten, especially if you're trying to eat healthy as a dude. You can literally just buy frozen vegetables, dump them right in, throw a little olive oil on them, and boom.
It's pretty amazing, and also everyone won't stop talking about it. JF, here's the clip right here.
Here we go.
Chaz, explain yourself. Are you a squatter?
Can you hear that?
Yes.
Yeah. You stand straight up, walk away, Kobe it.
Would you like me to demonstrate?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So hypothetically, let me lean this up. All right. So
I don't like the fact that
I want you to keep your eyes on Ed, JF.
Okay. You gotta hit
you
play.
have to make the camera taller for us to see.
Yeah, again.
so I'm on the toilet, right?
That's a red flag.
Yeah.
So I'm on the toilet. The toilet paper's here. I grab some of the toilet paper. I stand up. I turn around.
Whoa! What are you
I'm sorry.
Why are you turning around?
I don't know because I like to know where the toilet paper's going.
Chaz, you've lost your actual mind.
Can someone clip that, please? Can someone clip that?
Yeah, fucking.
What's insane about it is so many things. The turn I've thought about that. I told everyone about this.
That is one of the craziest things I've ever heard. That's like something a kid does in kindergarten because they don't think they know.
Yeah.
2 shows in LA. 2 shows. Both of them. I told this to every comedian I spoke to. Let me ask you this. How do you wipe your ass? All of them, by the way. LA, it's not 50-50. Los Angeles, all genders, all races, all creeds. They sit down to wipe their ass like goddamn human beings.
What other way is there?
You standing, turning around, shit on the floor, apparently.
I don't understand this, man. What other? This is the thing I worry about that guy now. What other things is he equally doing that are as crazy as that in his life? Because that's not the only one.
I mean,
masturbates overhand for sure.
What? No.
Guaranteed.
I didn't even know that was a thing. That makes me very upset.
It's not. Chaz does it. That's what I'm saying.
I hate that. I hate the idea of that. I hate that that's a thing. Should I ask? Yes, we should all ask. In many ways, we should troll him. And just give him a complex. I mean, what? I hate it so much. Imagine doing it the other way. Yeah.
Well, it's like you're throwing the jizz away from you.
Let me ask you this: what's the
Get outta
word?
here.
Do you guys recall? Although JF isn't going to like this because his parents are in the next room, so we
No,
can
they
watch
went
video.
out to dinner, so we
Hey,
can
there we go. Now let's.
Hey.
Well, you were gone. My mom came in the room, gave me a little something. My dad gave me a wave.
What did your mom give you?
It was adorable.
Just like a mail.
Oh, okay. I thought she popped in and gave you like a Shirley Temple and $20 to order pizza, but no garlic bread. No garlic bread, JF.
I can eat whatever I want.
I mean, yeah, you say that.
I'm not eating bread right now, you know? Though last night I did go buck wild at a Waffle House.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let me just make sure. What chain? The actual yellow and black Waffle House?
Yes.
That motherfucker knows. Oh my God, they're so good.
They're so good and they're so bad. Also, in classic Florida fashion, the booth behind us, there was a man with a full sleeve Confederate flag tattoo.
Yeah.
With like white beard down to his almost his middle of his stomach.
I will never forget. This was years ago. I was in Tucson, Arizona. I saw a guy in a tie-dyed T-shirt, but he had a Confederate flag stitched to the tie-dyed T-shirt, and it's like, what? You misunderstand both of those movements.
I remember
is supposed to shoot the other.
Yeah.
You not seen Easy Rider?
I mean, right there. That guy really likes losers.
I remember being in a library and I saw a guy with a full, his whole forearm was just the NASCAR logo.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I was like,
crazy.
Good for you, man.
Library.
Yeah, right. I was like, you're trying. You're moving on up. You're the Jeffersons. This is great.
How did that guy? That guy was definitely looking for a book on in the auto mechanic section.
Yeah, I think he was just there to take a shit. Personally, I think that's all it was. But
this an Applebee's?
Yeah, I remember footage from when all the George Floyd protests were going on, and there was they were trying to show footage of things being smashed, and the one thing that people were really defending was a Waffle House.
Yeah.
I think it was in I think it was in Georgia. I can't remember where it was, but I remember people were smashing things, and then protesters were just like, "Don't you fucking dare! Don't you dare touch this Waffle House!" Turning on each other. It was it was such a beautiful unifier.
It's one of the few businesses in the South that predominantly hires in black people.
Mm.
It's it's usually you go in and it's all sweet old black women as waitresses and black chefs.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just very cool to see what it meant to the community.
Yeah,
yeah.
John,
hang on, I just want
confused at the moment.
I'm just trying to bring up a clip for all of us to enjoy, and I just don't know why CNN.com isn't cooperating. Stop moving.
Also, some of the best World Star videos are in Waffle Houses.
Oh, of course. I was okay.
And that McDonald's on West 4th Street, which is COVID took out. It took out the West 4th Street McDonald's out of
It took out that sketchy McDonald's in the Village in New York.
Yeah, the one where the guy beat the people to death.
What was the Colin Quinn line about that place? That place
it's one of the greatest jokes of all time. Where he goes, that McDonald's on West 4th Street is to World Star Hip Hop what Little Italy is to Martin Scorsese.
Let me tell you how weird my hometown is. The bad neighborhood in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, is the McDonald's by the Rideau Center. That's the worst neighborhood in Ottawa. Time Travel Agent is in the chat. She and I went to high school together in Ottawa. She can confirm. Worst part of my hometown, Rideau Center McDonald's. Let's watch this. Let's watch this, Ma.
I already love that headline.
No idea Waffle House Index was even this unofficial metric.
Yeah.
Can you just tell me why you think whether or not a Waffle House opens is a good indication of how a community rebounds after a storm?
You're exactly right. If we are open quickly after the storm broke, that means that the community is coming back and folks are out, and we're getting back to that sense of normalcy. And I think that's why people have looked to us.
I'm going to say right now, this fucking wife man has sniffed a panty in his life. Gentlemen, confirm, deny.
Oh, for sure. But it was his wife's. He keeps it close to home, It's his ladies. He keeps it in his pocket. It's just
agree.
for him. It's not for others.
I guarantee.
The guy who hangs out around his daughter's friends who were for sleepover in high school a little too long.
Yeah, but that's more because he's just trying to make sure none of the boys have interfered with them. Now, girls, I'm part of the doofus sex as well, but I need to make it very clear that if a gentleman mistreats you got to give him what for. Not true. Not true. The Rito Center McDonald's apparently not the. Okay, then what neighborhood in Ottawa is a bad neighborhood? Don't you say Mechanicsville? Maybe Winkle.
I've been to Mechanicsville.
In Ottawa?
Yeah.
Why? Where were you in Ottawa?
I've been to Ottawa a bunch of times, dog.
Why?
Comedy, baby.
Such a great sentence. I've been to Ottawa a bunch of times, dog.
Wait, with who? Did you play absolute comedy, or did you play Yuck Yucks, or were you doing?
I did a theater.
You're doing pure support.
I did a theater as part of the Just for Laughs roadshow with Joel McHale.
How is his stand-up? I've never watched any of it.
Very good. He has an hour out on Amazon Prime you can watch.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I always picture him as very Toshy.
What? Say that again.
I always picture him as very Daniel Toshy.
He was Daniel Tosh before Daniel Tosh. He has jokes about it in that hour special.
Oh shit! All right.
I don't want to give it away, but he was on a interview with the LA Times, and the reporter thought he was Daniel Tosh.
Oh, that's the best.
Yeah,
that's really good.
Yeah.
Who? Oh my god.
I mean, they look nothing alike, but there's a similar smugness.
It's even more based than that, which is they just both hosted shows where there was clips, so they must be the same person.
Well, also Joel used to be, when he started hosting The Soup, was a thin man, and now he's got the body of a superhero.
Yeah,
because he's the dad on Star Kids.
Yeah, he's that DC show. He's a superhero.
Oh, really?
But he had that body before that.
Yeah, on Community, superhero
through the last
body.
few years about the Waffle House Index.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say he got that body because they started putting him shirtless on Community, and he was self-conscious about his skinniness, so he got in shape.
Why? I remember an episode of Community where, do you remember the bottle episode where they're looking for Annie's pen?
Nope, never seen a single episode.
It's very fun, but there's one episode where
I gotta say
Abed-
this.
Okay.
I've watched a lot of Community.
Yeah,
I don't like. I feel like Ben with Little Sebastian and Parks and Rec. I don't get it. I'm trying, and everyone's like, "This is great," and I'm like, none of these characters make sense. None of them are likable, and and I also don't know why. Some of the and I also don't know how you made Abed not that likable. This is very disturbing. He said, "A young autistic boy. What in the world?"
Abed's incredibly lovable. Everyone loves Abed.
I've never watched the show. Probably never will.
It's not great.
I love it. I think it's very fun. It's very silly. It's I think it's great. But there's a scene where Donald Glover and I can't remember the name of the actor, Danny Putty, they take off their shirts, and they're both ripped.
Yeah.
And I'm like, come on, this is ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta be if you're gonna be a TV star. Why do you think I lost this 36 pounds? I'm trying to get myself to the middle.
Nice. But isn't the middle the worst place to be? Don't you want to be either young Seth Rogen or Joel McHale?
I want to be but young Seth Rogen was super fat. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. You want to be either.
You want to go Jonah Hill in 40-Year-Old Virgin.
That's too far. Nobody should go Jonah Hill and 40-Year-Old Virgin. That's a real problem.
Jonah Hill is in shape now, though. Dude's got it together.
Yeah, when was the last comedy you saw him
in? Good point.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, am I the only one that I tried to watch Wolf of Wall Street recently? Let me tell you. Pardon me?
Nope.
Have you watched it? Have you seen it? Never seen it? Chris?
Took me 3 tries to get through it.
This is maybe the second time I watched it. First time I watched it, I was like, I'm maybe not in the mood. Second time I watched it, I'm like, how did this movie get made? It's because you're like, if this was made in this Scorsese and it's not good. Here's what I'm trying to say. Martin Scorsese, I still can't figure out if The Irishman's a good movie or not. And I'm I at the same time really enjoy it, and also I think I hate it.
Never watched it.
I'm
a real JF in this one.
Yeah, I have no interest. Look, I'm not saying that people who get up in age can't still make great art, but I do think there is a point where people do jump the shark, and it's hard for them to come back. And I feel like he's a guy who's jumped the shark.
It's just, but it's even crazier. Is I've never seen such a bad film made so well. Like, imagine all of the greatest ingredients to your favorite meal. I love a mafia movie. I love a crime movie. I like it when Martin Scorsese. I love Joe Pesci just existing because everyone else went to acting school and he was just a friend with the fucking 4 seasons, and now he's just in movies. He's just running around smoking, yelling at people. He thinks he's a rapper. Joe Pesci needs to be around more often. That should have been a
wildly racist Joe Pesci.
Is
Shocking.
He?
Shocking.
I mean, I you know what? I'm going to say it. I can't believe an Italian man from New Jersey has some backwards thoughts. Go ahead, Phil. I'm 29. Yeah, sure you are, Grandpa. Wait, what? Oh yeah, and the de-aging of Robert De Niro in that movie. What's even more amazing, by the way, the reason why it took them so long and so much money in editing is because Martin Scorsese didn't want to disrupt the actors by mocapping them. If they had mocapped them, they would have looked amazing. It would have been perfect. But instead, they did that without the tracer dots, which is why they all look so fucking weird. Oh, I need someone else to watch this movie besides Ball. Like, it's
you know what fascinating. You know what I wish they'd done to make it full circle with De Niro is if instead of using De Niro to de-age it, they de-aged Al Pacino to play a young Robert De Niro. I would have just enjoyed that. That would have been for me.
That's such an inside pull and still would have been fucking good. It's like 2 hours in before a woman speaks. This is the other thing. Like, let me tell you, that movie, literally, the woman who created the Bechdel test actually committed Harry Carey. Is that what it is? After seeing The Irishman.
There's also been like 7 versions of that script. There are like 8 versions.
Really?
I'm sure way more. But the dudes who wrote Rounders originally wrote a version of that script. And the guys who wrote the Oceans movies, I would love to see that version.
Well, the problem with that script is Martin Scorsese or Robert De Niro bought the rights to that book like years and years ago. But the problem with it is also the guy's a liar.
That makes it hard.
Frank Sheeran didn't do any of those things. Like, a bunch of people were like, no, he didn't kill Jimmy Hoffa. I was with him that day. Here's this photo of us all holding newspapers. It's like, what the hell? Stupid Frank Sheeran. Just a dirty, filthy liar. I just want good things to come back. Do you know what I mean? I'm just in that place where it's like, all of the movies I used to like are bad. Community's bad.
They're great movies. You see Lady Bird? Lady Bird was awesome. Booksmart, fantastic.
Didn't see either of those. Also, JF,
those movies were all like 5-6 years ago.
Yeah, JF.
Was that
also
5 or 6 years ago? Oof,
yeah.
Time has lost all meaning.
JF, send me that email, by the way, that my representatives should have sent me. By the way.
Avails go in on Sundays, by the way, for the following weekend.
Well, shit. Oh wait, it's still Sunday.
It's Monday.
Today is Sunday.
Today is Sunday.
Well, look at that.
Yeah. What was Scorsese's last good film? Departed?
Yeah.
Yeah, and even that one, I know people loved it, but I was just like, it's good. But I wasn't like,
I love it, but I'm not like blown away from it. I just find it to be one of the most watchable movies
fucking
I've
watchable.
ever seen.
It just moves at a real pace, and it's also what it is it's a real Martin Scorsese is really good at just like, I mean, if you actually think about it in a weird way, a lot of his movies are just 80 really good scenes in a row, but like they really at times don't hold together. Like Goodfellas is spectacular, but has like the weirdest through line through it. You know what I mean?
It's one of the best movies ever. But that was also another one that was like a weird book they made into a movie.
Yeah, but the thing with Harry Hill is that he at least was telling the truth. Like everything that Harry Hill has said, they're like, yeah, no, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the Lufthansa guys did do that. And they also like didn't go into a bunch of the other stuff he was involved in because they're like, that's way too complicated. Like they didn't go into the whole points shaving thing that he was involved in at at the college level.
Oh, have you listened to the podcast about the referees that were altering points for the Mafia? Some of whom are still referees in the NBA?
No.
Very good.
I mean, I
very,
did listen,
very good.
I did listen to the Reply All where they explain comm stats. By the way, do yourselves a big favor and listen to Reply All. Chris Betts turned me onto it. Although they don't make new episodes anymore because of a hostile work environment. Is that correct, Chris?
They just released an episode like maybe last week where it's they got rid of PJ Vogt, who was one of the founding hosts, and Shruti Pinamaneni, who is one of the big producers, because for making a hostile work environment. And so now they're coming back, but with sort of a new tinge. And I don't think it's going to be as fun. I think it's going to be a much more serious podcast.
You've got to listen to this episode, JF, because you love New York. Were you just checking out your guns?
I know I wasn't sure if I had a pimple or a mole. Sorry.
And?
Verdict? Cancer? Is it cancer?
I don't think it's cancer, but I think it's a mole.
I mean, imagine if it was cancer and this is how you find out. We're just having a Twitch stream just to tell you. It'd be so fucking embarrassing.
It would be weird. How did you guys know before a doctor?
I've given people cancer before.
I just yell cancer in people's faces and hope for the best.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. We just got away with tiredness. Oh, God. I hate
Well, we
running
just
in the
hit 2 hours exactly. So that's perfect timing. Should we raid somebody?
I'm going to play Among Us.
Oh, I will also play Among Us.
What is Among Us?
We're going to play a game. JF,
It's a fun murder space game.
Oh, actually, do you want to play along?
Wait, is Among Us, was that created by Bruce Stanley?
No idea.
I mean,
but
I'm gonna
you know the guy who
now.
comes up on my screen and puts the subscribe thing down, that little character? That's from Among Us.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think it's that. I think he created a different game.
Are you in? You're not on a. You don't have. You're not like signed up to a Discord server.
I don't even know what those words mean.
It's like a private Reddit, basically. I just
no. I'll tell you this: I have zero interest in playing video games.
Great describer.
Oh, then my friend,
I'm gonna make a turkey burger and have some Brussels sprouts. And
great, I'm gonna play. No, it doesn't. You placed it wrong. All wrong.
Let's say this.
I did not place it wrong.
The Instagram at the JF Harris.
There we go. I knew it was gonna be like.
People have been following. I don't know if it's from that or from something else, but
good. Check out JF. JF's great, and he's going to release an album, and it's going to be hilarious and a special. And go see him if you're in Florida.
Yeah.
Have you got an album out already that people can listen to?
Really, anywhere else in America. If you're in Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, the Midwest, Florida, I'm coming.
Nice.
Oh, San Francisco, Los Angeles. John, I'm coming to LA for 3 days.
When?
May 16th through 18th, 3 nights. I'm going to run my hour at least twice while I'm there.
Where?
They're working those things out right now. Cool. But doing it with the Jam and the Van guys.
Have you got an old album that people can listen to?
I have an old crowd work album, very old. That's all crowd work from after my divorce, and I had to write all new material. So it's a lot of me just talking to people about. It's very dirty, and it's me just talking to our crowds about divorce and fucking.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's from like 5-6 years ago. 6 years ago.
Sweet.
Cool. Check that out. What's it called?
This Was Not the Plan.
Cool. Check out JF's album. This Was Not the Plan.
It's on
I will also, I think, be doing a work in progress gig on Zoom on Friday at noon.
I would like to watch that.
Do it, buddy. 8 p.m. It's just going to be me for an hour getting ready, baby.
Nice.
Friday, 8 p.m. UK time at noon. Oh, there it is right there. 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
What time Cleveland? So that's 3 p.m. Cleveland?
That's 3 p.m. Cleveland time. I could use you. I could use your tags.
Oh, yeah, I'm in.
Sweet. All right. JF will be in the chat to do tags. And Chris Betts and I are heading over to play Among Us. Anyone who wants to play, head to my Discord, we'll say.
Sure.
Great. And we'll go from there.
All I've got is Colt. And then there's a channel that exclusively plays Bob Ross episodes.
I mean, I have also, of course, enjoyed that Bob Ross episode thing. D-Carb, thank you so much for the subscription. You, my friend, are a hummus jam.
Hey,
yeah, so let's just head over to my Discord, all that sort of stuff. We don't need to raid anyone, do we?
Oh, yeah, you're right. We just want to keep them on here and then restart.
Yeah, so we'll just turn it off and turn it back on. Are you going to stream it as well, Chris? Or are you just going to jump in?
Yeah, I'm going to stream it as well. Might as well from here, right?
JF, thank you for your time for coming on the stream.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, man. This was great.
I'll talk to you. I'll call you later. Or are you going to respond?
Call me after your stream. After you play your video game.
I'm gonna play. I'm gonna say I don't like your tone, the way you said video game. Chris, what did you think of JF's tone when we said video game?
It felt condescending, but I'm cool with it. We're in our 30s. We're probably better than this, but you know what? I'm having a good ass time.
I got news. I am not.
Also, I got nothing against video games. I would play some. Bye, person who said bye to me. This is my first time seeing the chat. I would say I would play some Super Mario Brothers. Mario Brothers 3.
It's good stuff. That is good stuff.
Yeah,
it's a great game. But
I love a Tetris.
Oh, who doesn't? I didn't love. I was always more of a Dr. Mario guy.
I'm okay with a Dr. Mario.
Okay.
I prefer a Tetris, but
it's fun. It made people take pills.
Very fun.
You think that's why we have an opioid epidemic in America?
I mean, it can't be. Can't be Purdue Pharmaceuticals' fault. It's a good quality company. The Sattler family, JF, and I can't stress this enough, are patsies.
I think they did it.
You know what? You're probably right, and you've totally convinced me in every way.
Goodbye.
Bye,
JF.
All right.
Everyone watching, stay exactly where you are. We're going to shut down, open back up, play some Among Us.
I'm gonna come back up with starting soon because I'm gonna pee again and get some more coffee.
Cool.
But I will see you all in Discord in a moment. All right. But I will start right away. So stay there. It's Among Us time. Coming up next.
Yeah.